Hi class, this is my critical assignment on my fitness education presentation. For the first slide, we're going to talk about the health and movement assessment. To begin with this during the class, I started with a functional movement assessment for my client. There are 10 test protocols during the FMS testing, such as a deep squat, a hurdle step, an inline lunge, shoulder mobility, shoulder clearing test, active straight leg raise, stability for the trunk, push-up, spinal extension clearing test, rotary stability, and lastly the spinal flexion clearing test. The results from my client Karen were that of what I used to develop her 8-week program, which were going to be designed to focus on some goals that she had set for herself. Karen had a lot of difficulty with her strength and her balance throughout the FMS testing, and that is what led us to pick on the things that she wanted to work on specifically. She decided that she wanted to focus her attention on her strength and her endurance. We focused mostly on the strength of her arms and her core. Her legs were pretty strong, not as strong as she'd like them to be, but those were kind of like the third thing she wanted to work on. She mostly wanted to focus on her core strength and her upper body. In selecting which exercises that she would be performing, we had to make sure that they were targeting each muscle group so they would be working in a functional way. On the third slide, we're going to talk about our periodization. The program I designed was targeted at strengthening her arms and her core along with her legs. Her arms and core were, as I said, were her weakest. The way I designed the program was a progression of 7 days, so 8 weeks, 7 days a week. She did upper body and lower body exercises all week, and on the days that she was not doing upper and lower body exercises, she would be doing an aerobic exercise of a mild walk. And as the progression of the weeks went on, she'd be upping that walk into eventually a jog to a run. Now those were alternating every other day, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, she would be doing like upper body, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and the following Monday, she'd be doing the aerobic exercises for either walking and or running, whichever one she was at depending on the week. Now her reps started out very low. She would do sets of as low as 3, and her reps would be as low as 8. And as the weeks went by, her set increased to as much as 6 reps and as high as 6 sets, and as up to much as 15 reps. And during that 8 weeks, like we said, it was going to be kind of all over the place. There's going to be some weeks where she did more intensity, some weeks where she did less. And during that 8 weeks, she did do a variety of reps in order to provide her with endurance during these exercises. Now, the exercises she performed altered from week to week to make sure that each muscle had proper time to rest. And we also wanted to make sure that she didn't encounter any injuries during these 8-week training program we designed for her. Now comes our exercise technique. So Karen's never worked with a personal trainer or anything like that, which I am not. So her technique wasn't always the best, but we did what we could to help her out. So for the technique video we did back in weeks 4 and 5, you can see there were some corrections there. In these videos, my client Karen did some of the exercises from her program regimen that we came up with. Now while watching, you can see where I show her what the exercises should be done. I did an example for each one of them before having her then perform them for me. While doing the exercises, you can also see me standing side by side with her. If she was on the ground, I got on the ground with her, critiquing her and making sure she was doing each exercise correctly so that she could get the full benefit from it. She could work on the strength and the endurance as well as to avoid any injury while performing the exercise, making her not able to continue in that 8-week program. Now, for week 7, we went ahead and we did a few of the exercises in which Karen had a hard time with, and where you can see how I helped her fix them and do them correctly. So for her upper body, she did a plank with a weight, and for her lower body compound one, she did a jump rope exercise. On the next slide, there's going to be 2 videos, one of her performing the jump rope and one of her performing the plank.
Jump roping. Yeah, very hard for both of us. You have to do 5 jumps. We're going to start off slow, so if you want to stand right. I don't want to hit you with the jump rope. The first couple, you can just like slowly go. Sound good? Okay. Try to keep your arms like by your side as you're doing it. You got this. Let's see it. Right now. I'll count for you. 1. Nope. Try again.
Jump rope's a little curly.
A little bit. One. You got there. Just when you're ready. One. Okay. We'll get this, I promise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So she did it slowly, which is great. Now we're going to up the intensity and she's going to do it faster. I'm hoping the faster she goes, the straighter the jump rope will go. Hoping for a better outcome here. Okay. Let's try. Maybe scoot forward a little bit, that tree behind you. You don't want to touch that in the crossfire. And you're good, you can stop. That's a cute pace. And as you can see, going straight worked a lot better for her. It was faster. The rope made it around. I think she's going to be the killer jump rope star one day. Stop it.
So as you can see there, she performed her jump roping exercise. The face that she made towards the end shows that her cardio and or her aerobic exercises still needed to be worked on. She was a little out of breath over jump roping. So hopefully as she continues to work through her program, she'll get used to that. Now we're going to watch her do her planks with the raised weight.
Now we're going to work on her upper body strength again. We're going to be focusing still up here in the same region with the biceps and the triceps. Except we're going to be doing it on the ground. We're going to be doing a plank. But we're going to be picking our arms up in our plank. So we're going to get on the ground. Your feet are going to go shoulder width apart. Your hands are shoulder width apart as well. Out like this. Just going to pick your hands up. So it looks like she's gotten better at this, so we're going to add some resistance training into this one. And she's now going to be doing it with weights in her hands, so she can take a break for a second. You put your knees down. So now while you're down, you're going to be in this position, you're going to pick the weight up. Okay. So that's how you're going to build the strength for the endurance that you're working on. Sound good? Okay. So here's one weight. Here's the second one. Make your hand neck rest. Or lower your butt. That's even. Your head's going to be in line. There we go. Go ahead. Try not to rock from side to side. Yeah, here we go. As you can see, when she was rocking, it was easier for her. But if you were to hold her hips still when she would do it, it gets a little bit more difficult. So this one, she's only going to do 8 reps up when she does it with her regiment training.
As you can see there, her upper body strength was a little more confident there. She did have to pull them up and rock. Once I held her hips, it looked like she was struggling a little bit, but she's definitely coming a long way on that. Now, here's where I'm going to talk about my application and faith integration. Now, the things I've learned in this course that will help me towards my future career is I hope to be one day a college professor in the subject of kinesiology. So throughout this course, I can take the things that I've learned and hopefully apply them to a classroom of my own one day. Now, for those in the corporate wellness and fitness position, they can demonstrate Christ-likeness via 3 different Bible verses I found. The first one is to say, "Do not be deceived. God will not be made a fool. For a person will reap what he sows, because the person who sows his own flesh will reap corruption from the flesh. But the one who sows the Spirit will reap eternal life from the Spirit," which is Galatians 6, 7 through 8. This one can be applied because it's telling them that they have to put effort into things that they want in life. Nothing's ever going to be handed to you. So if you don't put any effort in, it's never going to come. So a trainer could use this to motivate someone to become a better them and letting them know that what you reap, you sow. The next Bible verse I found is, "Be sure you live out the message and do not merely listen to it, and so to deceive yourself. For if someone merely listens to the message and does not live it out, he like someone who gazes at his own face in the mirror, for he gazes at himself and then goes out and immediately forgets what sort of person he was." James 1, 22 through 24. This one's just kind of telling you to not lose sight of who you are. We all make accomplishments in life. This can be applied negatively or positively. Some people make really big strides in their physical appearance and they then forget who they were before they lost the weight, or maybe they are skinny and they gain weight and then they lose sight of who they are that way. So this message really is just to tell people to never lose sight of who you are and just remember to stay true to yourself. And now our last Bible verse is, but reject those myths, fit only the godliness and gullible, and train yourself for godliness. For physical exercise has some value, but godliness is valuable in every way. It holds promise for the present life and for the life to come. This saying is trustworthy and deserves full acceptance, which is 1 Timothy 4:7-9. This one pretty much right in the thing will tell you that physical exercise has value, but godliness is valuable in every way. So it's telling you to take care of yourself physically, but also to keep your relationship with God alive and to know that He has a plan for you. And just because it might not be unfolding the way you want it to, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. This has been my presentation for my week 7 cap. I hope you enjoyed it.